A new weather pattern is taking shape across Canada, and from Sunday, January 17th onward, it's a tale of shifting systems, changing temperatures, and renewed winter impacts in several regions. Let's break down what's ahead and what you need to watch closely over the coming days. We'll start in the east, where the system that moved out of the Great Lakes is now pushing toward Atlantic Canada. As it reaches the coast, milder air is wrapping into the storm, turning much of the precipitation to rain. This will be most noticeable across Newfoundland, where rain and strong winds will dominate the forecast. This system will pack a punch, with powerful wind gusts creating rough conditions, especially along coastal areas. Travel disruptions and localized power issues are possible as this storm moves through. Across the Great Lakes, there's only a short break before the next system arrives. After quieter conditions early Sunday, another disturbance moves in later in the day and into Monday. This system will bring a return of snow to southern Ontario, gradually spreading eastward into Quebec. While this is not expected to rival the major storm from earlier in the week, it will still be enough to slow travel and impact commutes, particularly during the afternoon and evening hours. Out on the prairies, conditions will improve to start the period. Winds that were an issue recently will ease, and snowfall will taper off for many areas. However, this break won't last long. Another familiar storm track sets up, with Saskatchewan and Manitoba once again favored for accumulating snow. Northeasterly winds will increase late Sunday into Monday, bringing periods of light to moderate snow. Over the 3-day stretch from Sunday through Tuesday, some areas could pick up close to 10 to 20 centimeters. Wind gusts will also return, strong enough to cause blowing snow and reduced visibility at times, though not as extreme as the last major wind event. Alberta remains largely shielded from active weather thanks to a strong ridge of high pressure. Aside from some light snow in higher elevations and near the foothills, conditions stay relatively quiet. Sunshine will be common, temperatures will remain above seasonal levels, and overall it will be one of the calmer regions in the country. British Columbia also stays quiet under this same ridge. Expect dry weather and plenty of breaks of sunshine, especially away from the coast. The main issue to watch for is fog, particularly around the Vancouver area. Fog could linger through parts of the day and overnight, reducing visibility for drivers and travelers, but aside from that, there's little in the way of impactful weather. Up north, conditions remain relatively stable. Temperatures across the Yukon are mild for this time of year, with daytime highs hovering near or even above freezing at times. That's actually warmer than parts of southern Ontario during this stretch. Farther east into the Northwest Territories, colder conditions prevail, but overall, significant storm activity remains limited. Back to the Great Lakes, temperatures will briefly moderate late Sunday into early Monday, but don't get too comfortable. Another reinforcing blast of Arctic air arrives by Monday night and Tuesday. This will send temperatures sharply lower once again, reminding everyone that winter is far from finished. With west to southwesterly winds over the lakes, lake-enhanced snow and even brief snow squalls are possible, especially downwind of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Areas like Niagara, parts of central Ontario, and regions closer to Georgian Bay should stay alert for rapidly changing conditions. Snowfall amounts through this period look modest compared to earlier storms, generally in the 5 to 10 centimeter range across southern Ontario and parts of Quebec. However, gusty winds in the 40 to 60 km/h range could lead to blowing snow and reduced visibility, especially in open areas and along highways. As we look toward Atlantic Canada again, Newfoundland remains the main concern. Rain, strong winds, and rough marine conditions will continue to dominate, with wind gusts potentially exceeding 100 km/h. This combination raises the risk of travel delays, coastal impacts, and power disruptions. In summary, from Sunday, January 17th onward, Canada's weather remains active but uneven. Quiet and mild conditions hold firm in the west, while the prairies and Great Lakes deal with recurring snow systems and gusty winds. Atlantic Canada stays stormy, with rain and powerful winds leading the concerns. Winter is still very much in control, and staying weather-aware will be key in the days ahead.